Welcome to Yes for Success. I'm your host Gary Ryan from Organisations That Matter, and it's a delight to be working with you again here for Module 4, Principle 1, Passion. I'm delighted to be here with you for this module. Now, Principle 1 for creating a plan for personal success really comes from this idea and concept that expressing our passions gives us energy for our lives. You think about in periods of your life where you've been able to experience your passions. How alive do you feel? Right now in my life, one of my passions is riding my motorcycle. Now, I don't do it as a commute. I do it for recreational purposes. And just recently, I had a 3-day tour with some of my close friends. And every minute on that bike, I felt alive. Partly because it is a dangerous pursuit, and my life is literally in my hands and at risk when I'm on that bike. But I feel so alive, just so in the moment, so present when I'm riding that bike. I feel one with the machine. It's just magic. People feel like that when they sing, or when they play a sport, or when they might be researching, or when they're doing their work. I'm so lucky that when I do this work in live audiences, I feel so alive, so invigorated because of the content that I'm helping people to understand and deliver. It's just a wonderful experience to be able to do that. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about understanding when you have your passion in your life so that you get energy from your passion, because the reality is that in creating the success that we desire, there will be periods where we have to do things that we don't enjoy, and we need to get energy from our passion to sustain us through those periods. So your passion is critical for personal success. It literally gives us the energy to create success. Passion is so important. Now, it's possible that for some of you, you've never even had passion in your life, or you can't remember it, or gee, that was for a time when you were a lot younger rather than now. Well, I'd argue strongly that you need to have passion in your life. So if you are someone that does love singing or playing a musical instrument, when was the last time you did that properly? When was the last time you had that passion present in your life? Now, I'm not talking about necessarily being in a situation where passion is present in your life every day, or that you're necessarily even getting paid for it. If you can, that's fantastic. But just having it present in a way where you know it's coming. So, for example, some people have passion present in their life in such a way that it might be something like travel. And while they can't travel all the time because they need to earn a living, they at least have their next traveling experience booked in. It's booked in and they know it's coming, even if that's a year in advance. And your passion can still give you energy even in that sort of scenario. So it's getting energy from your passion, which is what we're talking about here. Now, here's a quick story about Cheryl, one of my clients. Now, it was August in 2011 when Cheryl was building her individual plan for personal success, because I do that one-on-one with people as well. And Cheryl had a national manager's job for an organisation in the area of safety. And Cheryl told me about her passion. You see, with her story, she got pregnant when she was 18 and was a single mother, and she was in her early 40s when we were having this conversation. And she said, you know what, I've always had this desire to play a musical instrument. You know, I've always had this passion, but I've just never learned it. And I said, well, let's put it in your plan. And to my amazement, in March of the following year, in touching base with Cheryl and seeing how she was going, she told me that she just played in a band in front of a live audience of over 150 people, 6 songs, playing of all instruments, a saxophone. You see, after she put this in her plan for personal success, the law of attraction really started to kick in, and one thing led to another. A friend gave her a saxophone to play. She could actually make some noise out of it, which apparently is not something most people can do in the first effort. She was then put in contact with someone who could teach her. She then found about this pub that was having a whole range of people audition to come along to form bands. And then She was the only one who raised her hand for a band that was after someone for who could play the saxophone. One thing led to another, and she ended up, as you can see on screen, playing in a band. Now, this is for a woman who's extremely busy in her business life and professional life, and yet because she wrote it down, because she got the clarity about this was something that was important, and she loved it. She loved the experience of being up on stage and bringing, in fact, a lifelong dream into reality, which just 7 months earlier had seemed impossible. So this in fact happened a lot faster than even Cheryl imagined. She thought this was going to take maybe 5 years minimum to happen. Well, she did it in 7 months. Now, sometimes that's what's going to happen when you get focused with your plan for personal success. So I'm sharing this story with you because I want you to be stopping and thinking about, what are you passionate about? Now, if you've never experienced passion in your life, or that you can remember, that's okay. That's okay, because humans, again, are amazing explorers. This is something you can put in your plan, as I would like to have discovered a passion. So, as we went through in Module 3, you might turn that question into an outcome statement. I will have discovered my passion or passions, and I will be experiencing them in my life. That would be at the top of your elastic band, part of your vision part. And therefore, you need to go exploring. Now, when you have that mindset, if a friend suddenly says to you, which again might be the law of attraction working when you follow these principles, says to you, hey, would you like to come along and do some Latino dancing with me? We're doing it on Thursday night. Would you like to come along and give it a go? Now, when you're exploring a passion, you might say yes, assuming you're free on that Thursday night, and give it a go. Now, you might discover that, oh my God, this is amazing, I love it, and voila, you've got a passion. Or you might discover, that was fun, but it's not for me. Fine, you know not to go exploring Latino dancing again, and you open yourself up. You keep open to other possibilities for discovering a passion. Maybe it even might be supporting the Western Bulldogs in the Australian Football League, which is an organisation and a team that I'm passionate about as well. And I'm lucky enough to be able to get along and support my team. So passion can come into your life in many different ways. The issue is, have you got it present now, and can you build that into your plan so that you have energy that you get from your passion for all the other things in life that are difficult and challenging to do, where you need energy to be able to do them. So please download the exercise if you haven't done that, and make sure that you answer these questions. What are you passionate about? Maybe it isn't anything. That's fine if it's blank. Maybe you just might, nothing at the moment. But what are the things that you are passionate about, even if you haven't been having them present in your life recently? When does time disappear? So it might be in doing certain type of work, time just disappears. You lose track of time because you're so engrossed in what you're doing. Maybe that's what a passion is. It could be reading novels. It could be reading autobiographies. It could be a particular field of study that you're passionate about, because time literally disappears while you're doing it. How is your passion currently reflected in your life? Right now, is it present in any way, shape or form? How is your passion reflected in your career? Again, in any way, shape or form. And if it's not, is that something you would want in your future, to have your passion somehow related to your career? Plenty of people change careers to have their passion present. They find a way to make it possible. And have you noticed a shift in your passions over time? I certainly have, and that's okay, but I've been very, very fortunate to keep passion present in my life at all times. Now, there is a sub-module to Principle 1, and it's sub-module called Energy for Success. Now, your plan is one thing, but having the energy to put your plan into action is another, and these two things are required. I recently conducted a webinar called focusing on creating your OTM personal cycle for success. And it's got 7 steps in that webinar, which I then turned into an ebook called Energy for Success. 7 steps for generating the energy you need for success. Both of these are included in the sub-module Energy for Success. So please make sure after you complete this module, Principle 1, that you go and see the materials in Energy for Success. You get access to the ebook, so you can download the ebook, and you can also download and view the webinar recording, which takes you through with a live audience the step-by-step process for creating your OTM personal cycle for success, which works hand in glove with your OTM plan for personal success that you're building and creating throughout this Yes for Success program. So go on and make sure you check out the materials in that sub-module as soon as you complete this module. A couple of other factors that are worth researching. You want to research your personality preferences, and there's a whole range of tools that you can use for that: Myers-Briggs, DISC, Wave, etc. I'm actually of a strong view of the What Makes People Tick version of a personality profile, mostly because it's usable rather than being as scientifically well researched as some of the other materials. But what I found is a lot of people really can't use them very well because they're too technical, and you virtually need to be an expert in the tool to be able to use it effectively, especially as it relates to working with other people in teams, etc. What I've found with the What Makes People Tick tool is that it's easy for people to complete. It's actually completed in less than 15 minutes, and it's easy for people to understand and remember and then use with their work. So if you're interested in getting a discounted rate to the What Makes People Tick personality profile, which normally retails for $52, currently in 2013, if you would like to get a significant discount off that rate, please email me at personality@orgsthatmatter.com and I will send you the link to be able to access that discounted profile. Also, you might want to make sure that you record in your worksheet your personal strengths and weaknesses. See, creating personal success requires you to be highly self-aware of your personal strengths and weaknesses, which is understanding what you're good at and understanding what you're not so good at, so that you can get good at noticing the people that are good at what you're not good at. I'll say that again. You want to, for your own personal success, get good at recognizing the strengths in other people that complement your weaknesses. And you need to have an awareness of your strengths and weaknesses to be able to do that. And similarly, you need to know how your strengths can complement other people's weaknesses if you want to be able to form high-performing teams and collaborative relationships that work for everyone. So there's a couple of other areas and factors that are worth doing research on yourself and completing in your worksheet. So what's next? We have Module 5, Principle 2, Personal Vision. And this is when we're going to write down what you want in your personal vision. It's really exciting that we've got to this point of the program. Now remember, keep learning and be the best that you can be.